What's going on? Happy holidays. In today's episode, I'll be sharing with you guys what to do if your heels leave the ground at the bottom of a squat. So if you're a personal trainer yourself, or if you're just a lifter in general, if you have clients who are experiencing this problem, I'm here to help you guys out, because this is not the kind of position you want to be in, especially in a lift like the squat. It's definitely not good for knee health, and it's definitely not good for power output. With some of my older videos, I would talk a lot about my inability to feel my left heel at the bottom of certain lifts, and my calves were always tight, particularly on the left side, and it took a while to really correct this issue. It took a lot of consulting with different kind of coaches, so on and so forth, but it's really all good today, and it feels really good to be able to feel both of my heels on the ground. And I also have noticed that in the past I've worked with certain clients who had a very similar issue. They weren't really able to drive their heels on the ground the way they wanted and maximize their output and also reduce their chances of injuries. So hope you guys enjoy the episode. And on a side note, be on the lookout for the Silverback book dropping right before 2020. The book is done, everything's in order, and I'm really excited to deliver it to you guys.
So as you can see in the first clip, I'm able to drive my heels into the ground during the eccentric, the pause, and the concentric part of the lift. Whereas in this part of the clip, you see my heels are really rising from the ground. And a lot of lifters can't help but do this, and that's because of what I'm going to explain later on in the video. So from the front view, they go down, and then once they get past parallel or around parallel, the heels will rise from the ground. I'm really exaggerating, but that's really just to prove the point. And you can see in the photo on the next slide, that's pretty much what it looks like for certain lifters at the bottom position, even with Olympic weightlifting shoes. So a lot of these lifters will fall into the trap of stretching the calves and only doing that to solve the problem, but in most cases it doesn't work. And I've done this a lot of times in the past. This is actually the reason why I bought the adjustable calf stretcher, and I don't regret buying it because, you know, it feels good. It's good to stretch the calves, but this alone is not enough to really help you feel your heels at the bottom of a squat. So I'm not going to generalize here, but in some cases the reason why lifters can't feel their heels is because they're stuck in excessive extension, also known as anterior pelvic tilt. And what ends up happening is that their weight is shifted forward, especially on the lower limbs, especially on the front of the feet, and they can't really feel much of their heels. That's why they have jacked up calves, along with a lot of other stuff going on. So what we want to do is we want to get the pelvis back to neutral. We want to tuck the pelvis, we want to feel our heels, and a great drill that we could use to get this is the 90-90 hip lift. So as you can see, I have my belt buckle on the ground, but my glutes are slightly lifted. This gives me hamstring activation. I'm squeezing the block, which gives me adductors, and I'm also reaching up, which helps me drive the ribs down. And what I'm doing with my heels is I'm driving down into the pad. It doesn't show in the video, but that's what I'm doing. I'm not pushing into the wall, I'm driving down into the pad, and I'm also getting full exhales. So you do around 5 full exhales, and it's really going to help you get into the position that you really want, which is going to be in the heels. So in the next clip, you're going to see this is what I want. You're reaching up, as you can see with the arrows, you're squishing the pad, and you're driving the heels down, and you have this slight tuck at the bottom, enough to slide a hand through. So you could do 2-3 sets of those, 5 breaths each. And another thing you could do to add into your warm-up is pause at certain parts of the range of motion, just with the empty bar. So as you see here, I want to make sure that I'm feeling my heels at every single part of the range of motion. So as you can see, I go lower, still feel the heels, go lower, go a little bit below parallel, I'm still feeling the heels, and you want to do the same thing on the way up. I'm not saying you have to do this with working weight. You just do this with the empty bar just to practice. And also, if you happen to have a partner with you, you have a gym partner, or you could even ask someone in the gym, you could just put a band on the floor and put your heels right above the band. So right now my cameraman is multitasking, but he's basically pulling the band from various angles, and I'm driving my heels in the ground. So I really want to make sure that I'm feeling my heels no matter how he's pulling the band, how hard, or which direction. So I'm feeling my heels, and it feels amazing.
You guys have it. Hope you benefited from today's episode. Hope you got something out of the content. I want to know in the comment section below if you're personally going through this right now, or if you went through it in the past, if you have a friend who's going through it, and if you're a trainer, if you have a client that's going through it. So once again, I'm not saying that this video was the end all be all and it's going to help every single one of you out, but it definitely worked for me, and it definitely worked for some of my clients, and it might even work for you as well. So let me know if you found an alternative way to drive your heels in the ground. I'm really open to your opinion. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Happy holidays and stay tuned.